Hey, hi, how you going? It's your mate Valstride, and today I'm really excited to finally reveal my all-in-one megabase that I've been working on for the past few weeks. This one took me about 30 hours all up, and I wanted to do something that was both aesthetic and functional this time, so I've managed to outfit this one with nearly every production facility you can imagine, which you're going to see in a moment when we go through the full tour. But before we get right into it, remember, if you do enjoy this content, like, comment, and subscribe. It all really helps support the channel a lot, and this time I'm going to make you guys a deal. My next major sub goal is 5,000 subs, which I know is a little bit ambitious, but I do think we can get there. And if you guys can help make that happen, I will give you a full build guide for the structure of the build we're showcasing today. So if you want to see that, remember to hit the subscribe button. But for now, let's move on to the tour. To start with, I'll give you guys a quick overview and then we'll go in for a full walk around. On the waterfront, we've got the docks and the promenade, which are technically a separate base. And this area has a little bit of fishing, but its main function is to serve as a trade port where I can park all of my merchants that I've captured so that I can easily access them and purchase their goods. Level 1, or the ground floor, is the lobby, which is primarily aesthetic, though it does house the majority of my hot springs for Pal's sanity. Level 2 is focused on electricity generation and item storage, where I spend a lot of my time organizing all of my goods. Level 3 is dedicated to mining and ingot production, while level 4 is where all my general production is done, including weapon and ammunition assembly. Moving up to level 5, this one's dedicated to wood cutting and skill fruit growth, and level 6 is dedicated to exclusively producing gold, which I do need in abundance for purchasing all of the endgame resources that are much more efficient to just buy with gold than they are to actually produce yourself. Level 7 is for food production, including both crop growth and cooking, and then level 8 is for breeding and PAL management. And finally, level 9 is another mostly aesthetic area, which includes a luxurious lobby and the player penthouse, where I like to relax and enjoy some of the best views that Palworld has to offer. But that's it for the overview, so let's start showing you around. So we'll start off the tour with the docks, and originally I had intended to just build out this area for aesthetic purposes and not place down a PAL box, but because you can only build certain structures within the area of a base, such as the market stands or the fishing ponds, I ended up deciding to put one in so that I could have all of my merchants out and give it a sort of trade port kind of a vibe. You can see over in the corner I've got the floating Kentucky bar, which is a design I use in many of my bases, and I've also recreated the promenade area that I used in my collaboration with Crimson Builds when we developed the stadium together. And if you haven't already seen that one, I highly recommend you go and check it out. I had an absolute blast getting to work with Crimson Builds. They are just fantastic designers, and if you enjoy the building content that we do on this channel, you're definitely going to enjoy their stuff. If you want to go and see the stadium we put together, I'll leave a link to it in the description down below. But we'll head on into the lobby next, where I've set up a small reception area, and you'll see the first of many of these plant boxes that I've placed all over the build. And I'm really grateful for the addition of the half walls that we were given in Tides of Terraria. And I think this is a great way to use them that is maybe a little outside of their obvious utility as a railing. Moving further in though, I've set up a sports bar in the corner and this little dining area, which is another design I originally developed when working on the stadium. And beyond that, we've got the front reception area, along with our new Japanese style hot tubs, which look absolutely gorgeous. Moving up to the second story, on this floor, I have the majority of my storage, which is all nice and sorted in an organized manner, and I'm doing all of my electricity production on this floor as well. So you can see we've got a couple of server rooms set up with all of the powered storage units, as well as a bunch of the actual generators over in the corner. And I do actually manage to fully power this entire site with just 2 fully maxed out ore circs, which is a testament to how great the work speed on those can be when you get them set up with all of the right trades and fully condensed. I'll keep moving though, and we'll head on up to the third level, which is dedicated to mining. And I will say I'm super grateful to have the addition of the hexalite nodes, but I do wish we could have the chromite as well. Generally speaking though, the devs added so many amazing features with Tides of Terraria, so I can't really complain. I mean, this entire build was made possible by the addition of the new clean style building material, which looks amazing. And beyond that, I don't know what they did, but I originally started this build before the update and it used to lag really badly, but they seem to have improved the performance drastically, and I haven't had any lag since Tides of Terraria released, so I'm super happy they've been working on stuff like that as well as just giving us new content. On the 4th floor, I have all of my production, and I have a few weapon assembly lines here and just a couple of the sphere assembly lines, but the main thing you need is an abundance of the general assembly lines so that you can queue up multiple stacks of materials all at once and then go away and do other things. In addition to that, you also want a bunch of the crushers for the same reason so that you can queue up a ton of palladium or pal souls all at once. One of my pet peeves, however, is the fact that our cooling pals prioritize keeping food cold over their work at the crusher, and so for this reason I actually had to swap out all of my cold food boxes for normal ones just so that my pals would actually get to working on the crusher. Next up, we have the skill fruit floor, which also includes a few woodcutting nodes, but you will notice I have an excess of these. There's really no need for more than just a couple, but to be honest, they're mostly just here for aesthetic purposes. The skill fruit trees themselves, however, are fully utilized, and I like to have as many of these as I can get because I'm always looking to stockpile the best skill fruits in the game so that as I develop new raid armies, I have plenty on hand ready to go. Continuing to move our way up, we've got the 6th floor next, and this one is entirely dedicated to producing gold. I've got 20 gold coin assembly lines in total, and I do recommend you set yourself up with something similar because farming gold is the most efficient way to get your hands on many of the endgame resources, especially now that we can buy things like missiles from the caravan leader merchant. These are quite expensive, but it's still going to be much better to produce gold than to produce the missiles themselves, and the same goes for most other materials. The 7th level is where I do all of my food production, and I am still trying to work on figuring out the best balance of all of the different farms to balance out the production of cake and minestrone. At the moment, I have 15 wheat farms and 5 of all the others. I kind of just threw these numbers together, but if you've got suggestions on the best balance, let me know about it in the comments section down below. As far as the pals go, we've now got so many amazing options thanks to all of their great partner skills, such as Lulu, Prenelia, Braloha, and Shroomer, and I like to utilize all of them, especially now that the work suitability books are really easy to get and we can level them all the way up to work suitability level 5, no dramas. Next up, we have the breeding and pal management level, and as any endgame player is going to know, I do spend a lot of time developing new pals here, and as you can see, I've used the breeding farm stacking method to fit a bunch of these all into a confined space. I think I'll eventually add a second stack over in the other corner of the room as well, but for anyone unfamiliar with how to do this, you essentially just need to stack up a bunch of shipping containers to create a platform to place the breeding farm on, and then you can delete each layer of container after placing the breeding farm until you work your way all the way down to the ground. But before we move on to the final level, I do just want to note that the entire building is accessible through the central elevator shaft. So the staircase obviously winds all the way around this shaft all the way up to the top, but you can also fly up and down this shaft to quickly get to any given level. But we finally made it all the way to the top level, and I'm really happy with the way this one turned out. This level is mostly aesthetic, but the views from up here make it worth it, and I've ensured that I orient the build such that the most open window areas face the sunrise and the sunset on opposite corners of the building. From the lobby area, we're going to get a fantastic view looking outwards towards the Plateau of Beginnings, and you'll see that I've once again utilized the sports bar design, but this time I've opted for more of the red luxury furniture instead of the leather couches that we used on the ground floor lobby. I also wanted to take the opportunity here to show you one of these side access doors which leads out to the extra balcony areas. There's about 20 of these all around the base, and I think it was a really nice way to use the exterior cladding panels despite them being mostly for aesthetics. Continuing on though, we'll head on into the penthouse where we have some more amazing views, and as you can see, we've got absolutely everything we could ever need up here. We've got a buffet, we've got our own personal spa, we've got a balcony with the sunset, we've got a loft bed, and we even have our own personal library, which is a close contender for my favorite space in the entire build. Oh, and I nearly forgot to mention that we've got some good company as well. These love-handers were actually gifted to me by the PAL Professor, so I had to give them a special place within the build and keep them on display for everyone to see. But that's everything for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Let me know in the comments down below what your favorite area was. But otherwise, thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you next time. Have a good one.